Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. And this time I'm going to take a look. This is kind of like a follow-up to the one I did the other day with the Black Hood. This time I'm going to look at the Fox. But this is the contemporary version of the Fox, with some older stuff in there too. This is, of course, from Archie Comics, Dark Circle, Red Circle, however you want to put it. Okay, this is the Fox #1, a one-shot. And the title of this is Family Values. This is from, of course, Archie Comics 2022. And it has 3 stories in it. 2 new stories and a third reprint from 1983. Actually, I think it was probably published in 84, or cover dated 84. The first one was written and drawn by Dean Haspiel. The second was written by Vito Del Sante, with art by Richard Ortiz, and the third one is written and drawn by the great Alex Toth. Again, for those who may not be familiar, because I don't have a whole lot of the Fox myself. The Fox is the name of 2 superhero characters published by MLJ Comics and Dark Circle, both part of our Archie Comics. He is Paul Patton and Paul Patton Jr. And the original one first appeared in Blue Ribbon Comics #4 in 1940. And Paul Patton Jr. first appeared in Blue Ribbon Comics #6, Volume 2 in 84. That's why I say it's probably cover dated 84, because it would have been produced in 83. The Elder Fox was created by Joe Blair and Irvin Hasson. Irvin Hasson. There's no N in there. And the Younger Fox was created by Rich Buckler, Stan Timmons, and Tony DeZuniga. In the 80s, he appeared in Blue Ribbon and some in Mighty Crusaders. Now, the one I did the other day with the Black Hood, of course, that was Blue Ribbon title, and the Fox had appeared in that Blue Ribbon title previously to Black Hood. It's appeared in the Mighty Crusaders. In 2013 and 2014, Archie, under the Red Circle imprint, produced a mini-series, which was later collected into 1 volume. And I have that. This is a Fox Freak Magnet. And then in 2015, they released another mini-series. I don't know the title. I haven't seen any of those. And now, something about the Fox is he has no superpowers. He's just a skilled athlete and martial artist, and fights criminals. He is a photojournalist by profession, and big change from the 80s version of the Fox to this point is that he is married and has an adult son, and hence the term title Family Values. And before they had the Freak Magnet, apparently, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've read it, I think he had been retired from the Fox for a while, but circumstances brought him back out. And the storytelling and everything is kind of tongue-in-cheek. It has bits of humor, but it has some serious stuff in it too. Not so much in this one, but in the other one. in the miniseries. And he got off into some weird stuff. It was said his freak magnet, he just attracts weird stuff. So, and of course here is my interpretation of the fox. But you notice this, a change here. He's got the symbol on his chest, which is a very stylized fox head. And I was drawing on stuff that I'd seen of the fox when I drew this from the 60s. And I think it was in the 80s version that the symbol was first used. May have been used back then too, but just not in the stories that I had used as reference. Now, here is his wife, She-Fox, and here's their son, the Silver Fox. This is and this, I think it's a nice, as it is stylized. Because it is told tongue-in-cheek, the stylization works. If it were all straightforward serious superhero storytelling, I don't think the stylization would work very well. That's why one of the reasons when I did the Batgirl several days ago, that's why I had the problem with the stylization. The stylization didn't fit the material. Had for example, the Batgirl stories been along this line, I think the heavily cartoonish stylization might have worked better. And of course, this is the cover by Haspiel himself. And I was looking at it, and stuff you probably can't see here on the camera is look in closely. It has some texture and stuff, as if it were done on with a brush or dry brush technique on a Bristol board with some tooth to it. But I don't think it was. I think it was all drawn on computer, like on a tablet. 'Cause a lot of the artists, many artists, do that instead of. And I just don't like it in general, as a general practice, because you can often tell the line and stuff. And generally speaking, I prefer if it looks like it was done on paper, on the Bristol board or illustration board. And but I think it works well here. You can do it, and you do some fine work. I have no complaint about that. Just I'm more of a traditionalist in those regards, and I do prefer stuff on more traditional methods. But I don't say doing it on a computer is bad. But it is nice, and they often the coloring, often even the inking and coloring is done on computer after it's been done on board and scanned in. So maybe that's how it was done. But some artists do it directly on the tablet. Sorry, on the back, nothing of consequence. Okay, family values. Just take a look. There's 3 stories. The Fox family values, and you can see the first story is midlife Pisces. And you can see it's kind of silly. It is kind of silly. Here's the fox in his house. There's a donut and a fly on them, and he's got the fly swatter, and he attacks the fly and going after the fly with the fly swatter, and he's whapping around all over, missing. And then finally he says, "Oh, poor little fella, just trying to get by in life." And he names him Joe, and kind of has sympathy for the fly, which is a good thing, because like around here, we don't kill the flies. We put them outside, because this is a bug-friendly household. After all, because my wife keeps like 60 odd tarantulas, and is a beekeeper and has 3 beehives. So then their son Shinji comes in, and they just talk before he goes out doing his fox thing. And hearing this freak maggot, and he's sitting there, and he sees his wife, because he's looking for his wife, and she is she fox. Has the blonde hair. Of course, she doesn't really. It's part of her costume, because she is Asian. She has black hair, and so they're confronting a villain, and then he is attacked by the lettering. It's not really, but we'll see. When she does her thing, disarms the villain, because she come into the middle of a robbery, takes the thing away from him, and then she starts talking to him, and it basically converts him. She takes off her mask and such, and shows it, because she has been, apparently in the previous miniseries, she had been her face had been horribly scarred by a villain with acid. And says, "I'm the gasser, not the harasser." And I said, "Get rid of the gas gun." and she reflects on, says, "Use your pain," because something had gone wrong for him in his life. "Use your pain for good," and because she describes how in the midst of the anger and passion after her scarring, she had killed the particular villain who had done it. And then the gasser's froggy compatriot comes into the middle and says, "Pass the gas on She-Fox and let's beat feet." Meanwhile, the fox himself is fighting all these. This is all in his head, not physical reality. His personal woes, internal fears and doubts and the like, until he finally is victorious. Then they're back at home. They're still in their respective costumes, and asking how his wife, I've forgotten her name, She-Fox, is talking to their son. They're eating pizza about his date. He happens to be gay. He was out on a date. They're harassed by a goofy clown-based villain, and he quickly changes to Silver Fox and beats the holy crap out of them. Here they are eating their pizza, and what? The gasser is there with them, and they're all having supper. And while he talks about beating the crap out of the clown guy, and both the clown and the frog guy are in the hospital emergency room. And this is where he gets the family values and stuff, and they're having a good time. Then the next story is the fox back to back, and this takes place in the past. This is before they were married, and there are some weird stuff there. They have been captured and are by some villain, and they're facing imminent death. This is a ridiculously over complicated death trap that they are in, but they managed to get through it at the Funhouse. And I guess it's I don't know, they didn't give the name of the villain, but I guess he looks like he's some kind of jackal thing. Could be hyena motif, I'm not sure. They get free, beat the crap out of him, and they do fine. And it shows up with them. They're actually getting married, because they were while they were hanging there back to back, they were arguing and discussing about getting married. And then here they are finally getting married. But then the third story, which still has a slightly tongue-in-cheek quality to it, is The Fox by Alex Toth. This is originally presented in Black Hood number 2 in 1983. So the Hood had his own title for a bit too. I don't know if I got those. I'll have to look at my stuff. And this was a backup story. It's Kapow, Kapow. He's in Tangiers, I think it is, and he runs into somebody. "You Patton?" Gee, that's neat, hiya. Then clocks him one. This big bruiser of a guy. He's a boxer, and he says, "Sorry, it was just a friend of mine." Said if I have ever happened to run into you, I was supposed to. I was supposed to punch you, so that's okay. So come on, let's go. They go have a drink. He's this big bruiser of a guy. He's like I said, a former fighter. He's got one eye, so it looks like a cyclops in a way. And they get talking, and then see there's somebody following us as they walk and talk, and they set up a little trap. You sit here and jump him. I'm gonna circle around. Well, he circles around, and he changes to the fox and snatches the guy. Tries to get some information from him. They're following the big guy, not the fox. And he takes his clothes off and hangs him from a pole. And meanwhile, he changes back, goes to go see his friend. I've forgotten his name, the fighter. And first thing, punch. Oh, jeez, Louise, what's going on? And I said, sorry, I didn't mean it. And I was sitting here waiting, and he punched out all these other guys that come walking by. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Then they're off again. And while they're eating supper, then bam, kapow, kapow. There's his name is Cosmo. Cosmo, you okay? He's taking him to the hospital. And in the process, he was talking about he had won a lot of, get a lot of money from his fighting career, and his brother, who is his manager, said he ought to travel. So he went on this vacation, but his wife didn't feel like traveling, so he went on by himself. Now this is getting kind of suspicious here, and while he's in the hospital, Fox goes checking things out, and turns out goes back to the hotel, and it turns out his brother, who is his manager, and his wife, who are lovers, and they set the whole thing up for him to take off, and then they would kill him because to inherit, so they can be together and inherit his millions. But the fox comes in, cleans their clock, captures him, and tells Cosmo all about it, but says it's okay in the end. He's going to be fine, and he's just sorry he has to pass on that kind of information. And that was a fun look at the fox. And this, of course, is their contemporary fox, as well as a more classic fox, but not the original fox. I don't know if I ever have anything featuring the original fox. I may very well have, because I've got something with some reprint stories with the original fox. So that's all I've got for you this time. Just sharing this bit of fun and the superhero character of the fox. All tongue-in-cheek. Some action, some adventure, and some laughs, all rolled into one. Thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe, and leave your comments down below. Are you familiar with the fox? Because these two miniseries were fairly popular when they came out, and so let me know what you think of this fox, that fox, or the other fox in the comments down below. And remember, comics are art.